Welcome back to Fantasy Football in 5. Our last episode was our playoff and Super Bowl predictions. This episode will be our wild card rankings.
So if you haven't heard about our channel, hit the big red button below. So to begin this wild card week ranking video, there's 8 teams playing.
Surprisingly.
Yeah. Would have never guessed. We begin with the quarterbacks here. We have Russell Wilson, Ben Roethlisberger, Eli Manning, and Aaron Rodgers as our top 4.
Aaron Rodgers, now we have him at 4, a little bit surprising, but the Giants' defense has been phenomenal recently, and we expect Aaron Rodgers to be slowed down a little bit.
Yeah, Landon Collins is a freak for safety.
And now the final 4, we have Matt Stafford, Tom Savage, Matt Moore, and Connor Cook.
Now Matt Moore, you might think of him as maybe a 5 to 6 kind of guy for our top 8, obviously, but we think he's going to struggle a little bit. Tom Savage, we think it's a better connection with his receivers, especially his big time receiver with DeAndre Hopkins. But Matt Moore, I think he's going to struggle a little bit against the Steelers, but you never know. It's the Steelers defense. Sorry, guys, but
all right, so starting off here, we have running backs now. We have Jay Ajayi, Le'Veon Bell, Latavius Murray, Lamar Miller, and Thomas Rawls.
Now you might want to be a little bit cautious here with Latavius Murray because of his quarterback situation right now with Connor Cook starting. So this means that the Texans are going to really focus in on Murray as Connor Cook might struggle in the passing game. But as we've seen before against tough run defenses, Murray is able to bounce outside with any kind of offensive line combination you have. And the last 5 we have Ty Montgomery, Theo Riddick, Jalen Richard, James Starks, and Rashad Jennings.
Now, Ty Montgomery, we have him at 7, mainly because out of the remaining individuals, he's probably the best running back and offensive line duo.
And he'll score a lot of points too because he can play wide receiver also.
Yes.
Okay, so wide receivers, we got 20 of them. To begin with, number 1, we have obviously Antonio Brown. And then we go Jordy Nelson, Odell, Michael Crabtree, Doug Baldwin, Amari Cooper, DeAndre Hopkins at 6, Kenny Stills, Golden Tate, Devontae Adams, and Eli Rogers at 10.
Now, Kenny Stills at 7. That might be surprising.
Especially
because he has Matt Moore as his quarterback, and he's a good deep threat. And we expect Kenny Stills to have a pretty good game against a pretty depleted Steelers secondary.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, I'll agree with that.
Starting out at number 11, we have Jarvis Landry, Anquan Bolden, Sterling Shepard, Marvin Jones, Sammy Coate, Geronimo Allison, Roger Lewis, Seth Roberts, and Randall Cobb.
Geronimo Allison is a name you guys might not be familiar with, but he is Aaron Rodgers' new favorite target, other than Jordy Nelson.
That's true.
He's really surpassed Randall Cobb in target volume, and he catches the ball too.
Yeah.
He has a great hands. He's a tall guy, so he's a good red zone threat. In addition to Nelson, so look for him as a kind of a sleeper guy this week.
All right, now at tight end, we have Jimmy Graham, Eric Ebron, Jesse James, and C.J. Fedorowicz.
Now, Jesse James, he's a real boomer bust type of guy this week. Ladarius Green is back from his 2-game absence with a concussion, but concussions are not something to be messing around with, so he's going to be limited in his work. But Jesse James is a really good red zone target. Ben likes to throw to him, in addition to Eli Rogers and Antonio Brown, so he's a nice dumb-off guy for Roethlisberger. You really want to be careful, though. And then last 4 we have Jared Cook, Jordan Howard,
Cameron, excuse me.
Jeez. All right, Clive Walford and Will Tye.
I wish I had Jordan Howard.
Exactly.
Anyways, we have Jared Cook here at 5, and he's probably a little bit underutilized in the Packers offense, but recently he's been getting more targets, and especially with Aaron Rodgers spreading the ball around more, we expect him to get more targets.
Speaking of Jordan Cameron, did you know that Jordan Howard was 2nd in the league in rushing this year?
And
he didn't start for 4 games. Okay, for our defensive part of the segment, because defenses win championships, we have Seattle at number 1, the Giants, the Texans, and then the Raiders at number 4.
Now, we have the Giants at number 2, and the Giants have been phenomenal recently, especially that secondary. Landon Collins, as we mentioned before, but DRC. DRC is one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL.
Can't forget Janoris Jenkins on the other side, too.
That's true. So expect them to put up great numbers in defensive stats.
Especially against Aaron Rodgers. And then 5 through 8 is you, actually.
5 through 8, excuse me. We have the Packers, Pittsburgh, Detroit, and the Dolphins.
Now, Pittsburgh has a very boomer bust type of defense too. They can play really well, but they have games like they did in Miami a couple of weeks ago, I believe in week 6 or something, where they got screwed over. So you need to be careful with them too.
Alright, now for the position that will win the Super Bowl for whatever team wins the Super Bowl. Kickers! Alright, starting off, we have Robbie Gould, Mason Crosby, Chris Boswell, sorry, and Steven Hauschka.
Now, Steven Hauschka is that number 4, and I really think he plays the weakest defense here, other than Chris Boswell maybe. But Steven Hauschka usually puts up a lot of points, but I think Seattle's going to score touchdowns primarily in this game, which is our method. Really, it's worked in the past for us. So Steven Hauschka is at number 4 in our rankings. And then 5 through 8, which is me, we have Matt Prater, Nick Novak, Andrew Franks, and then Seabass.
Seabass at number 8 might surprise a lot of people, but mainly because we see Connor Cook in that offense struggling quite a bit, and so we aren't even sure if they'll be able to get into Seabass's range, which is surprising considering Seabass has a range of like 80 yards. So.
Well, Justin Tucker has a range of 84 yards.
That's true.
So I don't see any problems with that. Alright, that was Fantasy Football in 5. Thank you for watching. We deliver all our fantasy news in 5 minutes. So let's pick up honestly. Who would want to watch a 30-minute video on this topic?
Amen.
This is our wildcard playoff week.
Playoffs?
Yes, playoffs. So these are our rankings. We hope you use them to your advantage in the NFL Playoff Challenge, which you should really take up because you can win a trip to Super Bowl 52?
52.
52 in Minnesota.